Good morning, students. Let us start the class. Today, what we are going to discuss is about the elasticity of demand. We already studied the law of demand. In that, we express the relationship between the demand and price by keeping other things constant. What it says, there is an inverse relation between the price of the product and the demand for the product. But there are some shortcomings and some drawbacks. We may say the limitation of law of demand. Why? Because here the price is an independent factor and demand is a dependent factor, they are saying. But it is not applicable in all cases. But one thing we should keep in mind, the demand is not only affected by price alone, but there are many other factors which will affect the income, substitutes, complementary goods, advertisement, raw materials, and fluctuation in the market condition. All these things will influence the demand. So what law of demand says, by keeping other things constant, we are just expressing the relation. So this is a very big drawback. The most important drawback is it shows only the direction. When price increases, demand decreases. When price decreases, demand increases. It shows only the direction, not the magnitude. There are unrealistic assumptions. So in order to overcome all these limitations, Professor Alfred Marshall again introduced a concept called elasticity of demand. This elasticity of demand is a very helpful tool to understand how much price is changed because of that particular change, how much demand has changed. It is quantified. How he expressed the elasticity by saying the degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in factor. That factor may be a price, or it may be income, it may be relative goods like a substitute or complement. So he just said factor, the degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in factor. That factor is either the price of the product or price of the relative product or income of the individual or advertisement, whichever be the factor that we are considering. We are just measuring what will be the elasticity, how what is the range of change have happened. So based on the type of factor that we are considered, the Alfred Marshall have given a basic classification is number one, when you consider the price, then it is price elasticity. When you consider the income, then it is income elasticity. Suppose if you consider the relative goods, then there are two product is involved, so we used to call it as a cross elasticity. Apart from these three, one more elasticity of demand is there, that is called advertisement elasticity of demand. So how we can define, according to Alfred Marshall, the degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in the factor like price of the product, income of the consumer, or price of the related good is called elasticity of demand. So based on the factor considered, we classified into four categories. What are they? Number one is price elasticity of demand. Number two is income elasticity of demand. Number three, cross elasticity of demand. And number four, advertisement elasticity of demand. How we can define the price elasticity? Instead of factor, just put price. The previous definition is there now, degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in factors. Instead of that factor, if you put price, then it is called price elasticity of demand. The degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in price is price elasticity. Similarly, the degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in income means degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in income of the consumer is known as income elasticity. In the third definition, that is cross elasticity, a slight difference is there in the definition. The degree of responsiveness of demand for product X, one product demand is measured due to change in the price of the product. By tea and coffee means the demand for D will be changed due to change in the price of the coffee. So that is called cross elasticity. The degree of responsiveness of demand for product X due to change in the price of product Y is known as cross elasticity of demand. This X and Y, either it may be a substitute like tea and coffee, or it may be complementary good like pen and refill. Apart from these three, one more advertisement elasticity, which is used to call advertisement elasticity of demand. The degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in advertisement expenditure is known as advertisement elasticity. In these four, today we will discuss with the price elasticity of demand. So first we will introduce about the price elasticity, why it has been introduced. That is, there are a lot of shortcomings and drawbacks in the law of demand. So Alfred Marshall have introduced a new concept called elasticity of demand. This elasticity of demand of various kind, like price elasticity, income elasticity, cross elasticity, etc. Then come to the actual point. So this today we'll discuss about the price elasticity like that. Then write the definition. In this definition, author name is important. Who have given this? Professor Alfred Marshall. So according to Alfred Marshall, write the definition within inverted commas. The degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in the price of the product is known as price elasticity of demand. So from this the particular definition, we can understand what is the relationship between the demand for the product and the price of the product based on the change. So just we are understanding by giving a formula. How we can formulate price elasticity is nothing but proportionate change in demand divided by proportionate change in price. That is called elasticity of demand. Most of the time it can be expressed in a percentage. It is easy to calculate. So instead of saying proportionate, it is better to say percentage change in demand by percentage change in price. This is the formula for price elasticity of demand. Symbolically, we can say EP equal to dou D by dou P. Dou D is nothing but proportional change in demand. Dou P is nothing but proportional change in. It may be expressed as percentage. Oh, 1 minute. I'm just